Which one of these things just doesn't belong here? One of these things isn't quite the same. Y'all remember that from Sesame Street? One of these knives are different than the others, and we're going to find out what this deal is. We're going to do a little bit of head-to-head action today. Welcome back to Kingfisher Outdoors. I'm Uncle Don, and I will be reviewing two types of Kwaiken-style knives. So we have here the Ganzo Firebird FH-11, very popular. And we have the Doom Blade. I'm calling it the Kwaiken style because it doesn't have a name on the ad or anything, or even on the box. It just has a number. The number is DBSQ0024. I think that's the number, because I ordered a few knives from Doom Blade because I was kind of impressed with them. And I opened them all up and took them out without looking at the number, and now there's no really description on there, just numbers. And this number is not on the eBay ad that I bought them from. So I think that's it, but I will include in the description, I will include the link to buying this knife, which I do recommend this knife, but we'll get into that. Alright, so these are Kwaiken style folders. And what does Kwaiken mean, you may ask? Well, I had to look it up. And Kwaiken is a Japanese small dagger, historically. It's a small dagger used for close-in fighting and small day-to-day tasks. It was not very decorative or ornamental. It was a very simple blade. There are several more famous knife companies that have Kwaiken-style knives. So if you just type in Kwaiken, you'll see Boker is the one that comes to mind. I think there was something called Geo knives. But if you look around, you'll see them. The thing I like about these Kwaiken style knives is they are not as aggressive looking. If you look at Boker's and some of the other ones, their blade is not as straight and simple. It's a little bit curved. It's a little more aggressive and dangerous looking, and less of a working knife and more of a fighting knife, you know, for stabbing and slicing and that sort of thing. So let's get into, I'm just going head-to-head on these things. Let's go with the prices. I want to get rid of one of these Ganzos just for looking purposes. This is the G10 handle. This is the carbon fiber-esque handle. I'm not sure if that's really true carbon fiber, but I thought carbon fiber would show the grain on the edge. But I might be wrong. If I'm wrong on that, you guys correct me. By the way, I'm not a knife expert. I've had knives my whole life, but there's a lot of things I don't know about knives. There's certain technical aspects about the steel and about different vocabulary of names of different parts of the knife that I don't know. But I can use a knife just fine. I've been using them since I was little. So I'm going to take the carbon fiber, which if you haven't gotten a Ganzo FH-11, I recommend you get one because they're great. But if you wanted one that was, to me, my preference is the G10 handle. It feels better. It's a little bit, has a little bit more traction. This feels more slick, and not to be rude, but it's a little more fakey looking, a little more cheapy looking. But it's not. I mean, you can feel it's got good. It's a good knife. I recommend it. If you like this style of handle, I recommend it. This one's $1 more than this one. This is $24.95. This one was $25.95 on the Amazon link that I will include. All right. So let's get into some technical data. Again, $24.95. This one is $16.14 on eBay with free shipping. Okay, and that's the Doom Blade Kwaiken style. All right. The total length on the Ganzo, let's switch these so I don't get them messed up. Total length on this is 8 1/8 of an inch. Total length on the Doom Blade is 8 1/4, so it's just a tad longer. The blade length is 3 3/8, and a tad longer here, 3 5/8. The blade thickness on this one, according to my measurements, I could be wrong. My calipers aren't the best in the world, but the blade thickness on the Ganzo was 3.42, and you can see that. And if you can see that, that's this flat part on the back of the spine is not indicative of how thick it is. It's thicker than that because it graduates here, and they milled a little bit off there And it's one of the things that makes this lighter. We'll get into that. Let's just hold them up. The thickness on this blade is 3.77, so 3.42 and 3.77, and you can see it. You can see this is thicker. Again, it's not as thick as it looks just because of that radius. Okay, so the handle thickness on these guys, the handle thickness on the Ganzo is 13.18. It's a tad bit slimmer than this one. This has the embedded liners. They're both liner locks, by the way, but this has embedded liners. So embedded in the G10. This one does not, and the width on this handle thickness is 14.47. The fit. Let's compare the fit and finish to these. Okay, I can hold either one of these. I don't feel a whole lot of hot spots on nothing on this one. There's not a whole lot of hot spots on this one. This one fills the hand better, just because it's thicker. It feels more substantial. It's because it weighs more, and this has a texture to the. Let's see if I can get you a shot of that. I don't know if you can see that very well. It has a slight grid pattern here, about like the Rat Model 1, something like that. So it's not 100% grippy, but it does have some traction to it, and it feels nice. Again, it fills the hand great, and it feels very substantial. This one, it has this concave strip down the middle of each side of the scales, and it feels great in the hand. This knife is a tad bit small for my hand, but I do like. I love the way the G10 feels, and the fit and finish on this is better. Almost every detail in here looks. Everything that's machined looks machined better. Everything that's polished looks polished better. The action, of course, is a little bit better on this. Let's listen to them. Hear that? That's kind of that's a subtle, you know. Now listen to this guy. You can hear something scraping as it's opening. Look, check it out. Yeah. Again, that's not a huge down on this. It's not a huge con for this knife, but it's definitely. I mean, this is just smooth as butter. Whoever put this together, the team that put this together, did a great job. You can tell they gave it everything they had. Also, a side note of this, it just keeps coming to my mind, so I want to say it before I forget it. Doom Blade is a company or a brand from a company, I don't know, that nobody's heard of. Ganzo, a lot of people have heard of it. The FH-11 is the first knife they came out with that has the D2 steel. Can you see that? D2 steel, right there. So that may make it a collector's item. I believe, and the price has gone up since I've started looking at these. The price has gone up $4 or $5 since I've started watching them about 6 or 7 months ago. Part of that may have to do with the tariffs that the United States is putting against China. I'm not sure about that, but I know we have a big trade war with them going on, and we are putting tariffs on things, steel, and I don't know exactly if this fits into that, but for some reason the price has gone up. It's either collectability or just demand has gone up, or the tariffs, or a combination of all of it. Anyway, that's a side note for that. The action is very smooth on both. Now, the action on this really feels, I mean, I hate to use the word elegant. It just feels too fancy. But that's what this is. It feels smooth and quiet. There's almost no effort opening this. You know, I just move my finger like that. Also, let me pull this carbon fiber back. If you'll notice the click on the carbon fiber, that's more than this one, the G10. Let's do them both one more time so you can hear that. Quiet, a little bit louder. Shack. This hits like a ton of bricks, man. It's heavier, it's louder, it's thicker, and So the also there is a gritty friction when I'm opening and closing this. I can feel a little bit of friction in there. Not nearly as smooth as these other two guys. All right, let's look at our centering here on the Doom Blade Kwaiken style. It's a little bit off, so I'm holding that with my thumb, and it's not 100. It's not terrible, but it is slightly off. And then if you look right here, there's gapping there. Again, it doesn't affect the function of it. That might be what we're feeling on the friction. The spacer here is contrasting red. Let me give you one good final look at that. So there's the Doom Blade. Again, I wish they'd put a name on it. It said Police. When it said model name, it said Police, but then I looked at all of the other Doom Blades I bought, and it said Police on all of them too. Even that working blade, Sheep's Foot. Let me just say something real quick about this. The people making these knives, these Doom Blade knives, the production people and the designers, I feel like they're doing a pretty decent job for the price. I would like to see their front office and their marketing people step up their game a little bit. Okay, that's just my opinion on that. This guy, let's check this out. I'll put it to the side. Let's look at our blade centering closed. That's fairly close to perfect. Can y'all see that? All right. There's in the back there, there's not, it's just clean all the way through for good cleaning. So the centering on this is very good. The centering on the Doom Blade is a little bit off, but it's not the end of the world. When I pick a winner for this, if I had to go Ganzo FH-11 versus Doom Blade, what I'm going to pick, overall, I'm picking this Ganzo. I'm glad I have both, because if I wanted this kind of knife to hold in my pocket, I would carry this around the yard to open up bags of mulch or things like that. It's very sharp. It's a D2 blade. I feel like it'll hold an edge. And it really feels great. This feels great in the hand. And when I just like kind of a heavier knife, I mean, it feels nice and substantial. Oh, another thing I forgot to tell you guys. See if you can see this. Y'all see this clip? I need to tighten this clip down. And that came from the factory like that. This one, I mean, you already know the thing. See, it's not gonna move. I'm not a big fan of this space in this clip, but you can tell when they designed this Ganzo, they were doing different things that would be sort of stylish and also shave weight. This piece right here in the handle, shave some weight off. This spine, narrowing the spine there, shave some weight off. That right there, shave a little bit of weight off. So this is very light in the pocket. This is a great knife to carry around for EDC, especially if you like a quick draw with a little, with a flipper. So again, I give this an A+. I give this Ganzo FH-11 an A+. I give this this item here a B+. But hey, $16.14 shipped. You can't. Plus, this is new. Who knows what will happen to this? I mean, this company, the way they're marketing it, they may not last long. So I would get your hands on one fairly quickly. But they also may start to do better. Like Ganzo started off with some cheaper stuff, and then they started upping their game and making really great knives and maybe some of their own designs and stuff like that. So that's what might happen to this one. So this might be good to keep in your collection, just in case they ever go big. So anyway, that's it. That's the full meal deal of the Kwaiken head-to-head on these two. Hope you learned something. If you enjoyed this video, please hit like and subscribe, and leave a comment down there about which one would you rather have, or if you have a Kwaiken style knife.